Welcome back, everyone, to the Skating Penguin Network. As always, Robbie here with Snail, coming off Game 2 of the Penguins' first-round series against the Philadelphia Flyers, and not going to sugarcoat much, just going to jump right into that. The Penguins dropped this game in a ugly 3-0 loss to the Flyers. They are now down 2-0, heading to Philadelphia for Games 3 and 4. And if we could maybe, after looking back after Game 1, thinking, hey, do this, do that, you can kind of change things in this series and get one back here in Game 2. Instead, the Penguins don't do any of that. They look maybe worse than they did in Game 1. They do get a few more shots, but Dan Vladar was there to shut that all down. And a just ugly, ugly performance for the Penguins sees them now down in a 2-0 hole heading on the road. And Snail, I don't know, outside of Stuart Skinner, I don't know if you can really give anyone any kind of props for anything in this game, because that was just a nightmare of a performance with a game that you would have really liked to have. Obviously, you want to win every playoff game, but you don't want to go down 2-0 going on the road against a Flyers team that is now amped up and believing. And just that was just maybe their worst performance of the season. If we look back, I mean, we've covered some ugly games this year, but this is getting into territory where it looks like you have a Flyers team that is a complete level above the Pittsburgh Penguins right now.
Yeah, Robbie, you don't want to lose a playoff game or any playoff game for sure. But you know what if you're going to lose a game, at least make it close to where you have something to build off into the next game. I thought the Penguins' first game, there was definitely room for improvement. I thought that they had a much better game coming. And like you said, this was simply worse. This game, this was, I mean, they looked like they'd already lost the series. Like they looked like this was like it's over. It's not. It's a long series. They got the Flyers have to win two more. We all know that. Right now, like you said, this year there weren't a lot of nightmare games that were extremely difficult to watch, like maybe there had been in the last couple of years. You know, we circle like the Dallas game, like jokingly on here, like that was just a brutal game to watch as a fan to cover. Uh, it was just almost like, why do we even cover that game? This one, not quite as bad as one of those where you're thinking maybe this team's tanking. They're in the playoffs, and I don't even know really where to go. Yeah, Skinner. Skinner's not the problem, man. He's stopping. The Flyers aren't blowing the Penguins out either. They don't have the firepower to blow the Penguins out. You can circle a lot of things. I'd say the compete is the number one. It's just discombobulated. It's ugly. And every goal the Flyers scored, which was total of 3 goals, it seemed to sink the Penguins deeper and deeper into just it's something we haven't seen from this team in a while, actually. Just this state that they're in where they not only are they losing the hockey game, but they start beating themselves. I don't even think they're necessarily taking high risk plays at a certain point. It's just, you'd think that this is, I don't know, it's like it's 2025 or 2024, 2025 season or something like that. Carlson had an awful game. Letang had an awful game. They brought up on the broadcast whether maybe Sid's still hurt. I don't think Sid's that hurt. And maybe I'll eat my words when all is said and done, when the playoffs are done and they come out with the injury report. But he's just ineffective right now. The Flyers just have that clamp down on them, and the Penguins haven't faced anything like that really all year. And there's no room out there, and adjustments need to be made, and they need to happen quick, to say the least, Robbie.
Yeah, this is giving very 2013 Boston vibes very quickly. Not 2012 against the Flyers, because that was just a clown car of a series. Neither of those teams was actually very good at all. This is giving very much 2013 when the Penguins could not do anything offensively.
And they got a Ginla.
That was 20. Yeah, that was 2013. But this is just a team right now that I don't know the team that we saw at any point during the season. I don't know where that is. Like, I don't know where this is looking like the team we saw in December, where everything just looked like it was difficult. Like a Stuart Skinner has obviously kept the Penguins from being down massively at multiple points in these games. He's kept them from being completely lopsided, keeping the Penguins within at least shouting distance. If they would have been able to get a goal tonight, they would have only been down one, and they could have gotten some momentum. But I just Chris Letang is done. It's over. The pairing with Girard, which is playing so well at the end of the regular season, it's just a bomb waiting to go off. It is every time they're on the ice, they are just giving the Flyers opportunities, and they're playing right into the Flyers' hands, just turning the puck over and giving them transition opportunities. The shorthanded goal tonight, that was a complete tire fire from the power play, which has been just dreadful, to Chris Letang. Just mistakes everywhere. I mean, Garnet Hathaway had one goal during the regular season, and he has one goal, a backbreaking shorthanded goal in the playoffs.
That's unacceptable.
No, it is. It's completely unacceptable. And it's not even like the Flyers are doing anything to drive the Penguins crazy. They're just playing the system. Like, that's all they're doing. They're not doing anything fancy.
They're just reading Talkett's handbook and going out there and executing.
And like, again, Crosby's been invisible. Malkin, I mean, he's been noticeable. He had the most bizarre penalty maybe ever tonight, which I don't know how it was called, because it was clearly not a high sticking call, but that's the Garrett Rank effect, I guess.
It was seemed like that was going to go that way, right?
Yeah. And again, the Penguins, they did have 27 shots tonight. Not a lot of high danger opportunities, but credit Dan Vladar. Again, he had a good game. He kept them off the scoreboard, which 2-0. I mean, 2-0's not a super safe lead, but when you have a goalie that's going to play like that and you just keep everything to a perimeter, it makes things a lot easier. It's just another bad performance, and I don't know where this came from after what we saw for the entire regular season. Like, the Penguins that last month and a half, where we're like, man, this is a brutal schedule. They played good hockey over the course of 6 or 7 weeks without a stretch of that without their two most important players. But I mean, Chris Letang's bad. I mean, it's just bad. I mean, there's no, I can't even say anything else. I'm not going to try to like, oh, he's trying too hard. He's not trying at all. I mean, it's just the game's gone. I mean, that's unfortunate. And I saw somebody put it out tonight. Like, I mean, if there's any silver lining, it's that Kyle Dubas has the high ground when it comes to what to deal with Letang this offseason, however they decide to proceed with that. If I take anything away from these two games, is I'm sitting down with Stuart Skinner after the season and saying, hey, you want to come back on a prove-it contract or a 2 or 3 year contract to help us break in Sergei Murashov a little bit? Just, hey, be realistic about that. Skinner has to be like, you just losing his mind, because all these years he's gone to consecutive Stanley Cup finals, but he also, he can't look now for Leon Draisaitl or Connor McDavid to do crazy stuff. And it's hilarious, because there's Oiler fans probably sitting up in Edmonton thinking, man, if that Stuart Skinner that we saw in games 1 and 2 would have showed up for us in the finals the last 2 years, we might have a cup out of all that. But Skinner has been good. I think the fourth line has played admirably, but you can't just be like, you can't just rely on those guys to score. That's not their job. You need these other lines to step up. Ben Kindle missed a good opportunity on the power play when it was 2-0. That could have changed the game. But just so much is they dump it in and then they do nothing. Like, it just nothing happens.
It reminds me of the end of the Sullivan era, where it seemed that they were dumping it in and working their bags off to get the puck back, and then it just ends up, it's a misplay, a puck goes over a stick, a weak turnover, and then the team's gone the other way and they're chasing on defense. They're getting stuck out there for long shifts. It reminds me of that, Robbie, working really hard with no progress in the offensive zone.
A lot of it just feels like they got to the playoffs and they were happy with that. And
Oof,
it's just,
don't say that. That's almost worse than you'd almost rather. I don't know about that. That would be brutal.
I mean, there are guys that are trying, and maybe they're just not good enough. Maybe that is just
Yeah.
what it is. Maybe that's all what it comes down to. They're just not good enough. The Flyers are younger. The Penguins are older. That is a very real possibility. That is not. That is not out of the question at all. They might just not have it. They might just not be as good. And I wish they would. If they weren't as good, they would at least be at least somewhat competitive and not being as good. I just think that the system the Flyers play is not novel to the NHL. I mean, it's been done
No.
for years now, and they've had success against it before, and it is frustrating to play against, but it is solvable. And I just wish. I don't know. You need to get the first goal on Wednesday night. That's as simple as it is. You just need to get the first goal. You need to get the Flyers chasing it, and that's where it starts. I mean, you have to do that. And if you can't, you're going to be playing from behind again, and it's going to be tough. You lose whatever advantage you think you may have had with the second change. You have to do something Wednesday night to get that first goal. That's a simple. I think if they get the first goal tonight, it's a different story. But they never really even threatened to get the first goal tonight. And the Flyers were completely fine playing a 0-0 hockey game until they got a bounce to go their way, and it landed on the stick of Porter Martin. And then the Penguins self-destructed in the power play, giving a shorthanded goal, which was more than enough at that point. I don't. Again, I'm not a hockey coach. I wish I had an answer because this feels like 2013. Like I don't have a clear answer. I don't have hey, what if we do this or do that? You had 5 power play opportunities tonight. You were the 7th best power play in the league. The Flyers don't need a power play because they just score a goal or two and then you do nothing.
Why do you need a power play when you have Garnet Hathaway?
I'm kind of just I feel like I'm talking into the void because like I have no answers. I wish I could say something. It feels like other times when even against like Nashville, like okay, Nashville is doing this, well, we can counteract with this and it's going to work out in the end. Right now I have nothing other than just show some heart. I mean, maybe you just do that and things go your way in game 3. Because it's just there's nothing. Like it just feels like they're giving nothing, and if they're not good enough, I'm fine with that. If the Phillies a better team, you know what? Then stick tap to them. They earned it, and good luck against Carolina or Ottawa. I don't care about. What I do care about is not looking like you even want to be there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it just has it written all over it that the Penguins, if they lose this series, whoever plays the Flyers next is going to wax them. Like it's going to be they're not going to be good enough. Like you said, this whole system that the Talkett's playing, this like Senate 2017 Senators 1-3-1. It's a novelty thing or it's not a novelty thing in the NHL. It is. It's one of those things where you kind of play that system when you don't have the offensive firepower to play a system like the Buffalo Sabres this year, the Tampa Bay Lightning do, the Florida Panthers of a couple of years ago. The great teams, this isn't something that's impenetrable to good teams. I think the Penguins have what it takes to be able to break this down, but for the first time in a long time, I think, and this is not what I would expect to be saying in game 2 of the playoffs, first time back in 4 years, but I think they're having a hard time setting the tone. I mean, they can't go out there and set the tone physically.
They're not. The Flyers aren't letting them set the tone, and the Flyers aren't doing anything incredible. It's not like one of those. It's not like the old Flyers series. Like I don't even think like this series has lended itself to generating any hate. Like I don't feel like
it's frustration, not hate.
Yeah, the Flyers aren't out there. They're not. I mean, they're not being overly physical. They're not doing any of the extracurricular stuff. They're not doing any of that stuff that has marked Penguins Flyers series in the past. They're just going out and playing their game, letting the Penguins fall into the trap, and then they get the goal, they get 2 goals, and the Penguins have no opportunity to set any kind of tone in this series whatsoever.
Yeah, they're not having it. They're not able to set the tone. Sid's not able to go out there and do what he needs to do to kind of set things up, get the offense going, start cycling, start rolling lines. It's a patient game from the Flyers, and they sit back and they let the Penguins struggle a bit. And then when the bounces go their way, they don't capitalize on every one of them. I mean, Tippett got a penalty shot and he missed. They've had their many chances going the other way, and it's not like they're scoring 6 goals a game here. They're just sitting back and letting the Penguins fall into their trap, and the Penguins are having a hard time getting through that neutral zone clean and breaking into the offensive zone clean, and it's extremely frustrating to watch. And I it's hard not to go down this route too, like you and I, Robbie, where sometimes it feels like there's such an easy fix to us, and we don't know what's going on in Dan Muse's mind. Dan Muse is being somewhat patient too. Like, it took him to the end of the second period to put together that Rust, Raquel, Sid line, which the second they put that back together, that's when the Penguins got this burst of life in this push. They bumped Chinnikov back down to Novak's line with Gino, which for the majority of the season, that was money making right there, those couple of lines. So I think there needs to be some personnel changes just to get a boost. This screams Avery Hayes, the way that he plays, the tenacity he plays with, the way he's able to get it. I mean, you look at the goals he scores, like his first game when he played Buffalo. I mean, he's a greasy player. And I think that there's some players on this team that are having a hard time getting to the interior there. The Flyers are really protecting the house well. You got to get somebody that's going to get in there and isn't afraid to get their nose dirty, and they're going to generate scoring chances from down low. Avery Hayes, that's his game, man. He looks like somebody that's built to play the Flyers, and he's up with the club right now. And I never thought all year, Robbie, that I'd be saying this, but I'm curious what Kevin Hayes has got. I'm curious what Kevin Hayes might have in a game like this. That big body. I mean, Brazeau, I know he's hurt, but you're missing Brazeau a bit too. That big body, he can draw penalties when people are trying to get the puck off of him. He made a lot of his money this season down low, getting around defense, being hard to move off of pucks. I know this is sort of the lineup that kind of got you here, but it's not like the Penguins were absolute world beaters coming down the stretch there. And now is not the time for Muse to become stubborn. It's not time for him to get stuck in his ways with the guys that got him there. He needs to start pushing some buttons. Right now, I think sitting out, you've got Ville Koivunen and you've got Rutger McGroarty, you've got Joona Koppanen, Raphael Harvey Pinard, Avery Hayes. Those are kind of the black aces, if you will, that you're working with. And, I'm not confident in Ville Koivunen or Rutger McGroarty necessarily right now, but there's a couple of guys I think that could be serviceable in the way that just thinking about how these first 2 games have played out.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Avery Hayes idea. I don't know where they're going to go with that. I think they're going to go with guys that are currently on the roster. I think that starts with Justin Brazeau if they're going with anybody first. I don't know who exactly you take out. I think it's probably Elmer Soderblom. It's probably who comes out first, just by process of elimination. Because, again, that fourth line is back together and putting together good shifts. So you don't really – I mean, that's like the only forward line that's consistently generating literally any kind of momentum. Literally doing anything that gives them a pulse. So maybe you go Soderblom. Tommy Novak has been a complete non-factor, and that even goes back to the end of the regular season. I thought he really did not have a good final few weeks. So it makes me wonder if Novak isn't a possible candidate to come out of the lineup. You got to keep Chinnikov with Malkin. I think you just got to you don't want to get stuck in your ways now. Now you're down 2-0. Going on the road, you have to, I mean, now if you're ever going to make changes, it's now. You can't make changes down 3-0 because, I mean, then it's just throwing stuff at a wall to see what sticks. I think now you go back to what worked for a majority of the season. Chinnikov down with Malkin, Crosby gets Raquel back, and then you get Brazeau in there for somebody. You pick a name. And on Wednesday night, I don't care if the Flyers put out their scoring line first or whoever. I put out that fourth line first. I put them out there with Carlson and with that top pair with Carlson out in the ice.
Witherspoon.
I put them out first. I put that fourth line out first, and just tell them you have 45 seconds to buzzsaw to get this game started. I don't care if it doesn't result in a goal. I don't care if it doesn't result in a penalty call. Just to get, because you know that crowd's going to be manic, just to get some kind of momentum started early in that game, just to shut them up a little bit, get some extended zone time, just go out there, throw the ball. You don't even have to do nothing crazy. Just get some stuff, just get some belief, just get some juice flowing in the first minute of that hockey game. Just to get some belief, just to get some heart, and see where it goes from there. Anything that happens is a bonus. Hey, maybe Connor Dewar or Blake Lizotte or Noel Chari, maybe they sneak one in. Maybe Erik Karlsson, the March Erik Karlsson shows up and you get a goal early. Anything, I just throw that fourth line out there to start, get the juice flowing, have them have a good shift, and then just build off that. I mean, there's nothing, because the worst thing that could happen is putting out the first line, somebody in Philadelphia making a big play, a big hit or something, drawing a penalty, and just putting everything on edge within the first 60 seconds. I put that fourth line out there, tell them to just play like you have all season, cause a bunch of headaches for the Flyers, and just to get some juice flowing and build off of it from there.
I like that a lot, Robbie. I think that they're kind of like the soul of the Penguins right now, just in all season when they haven't been going. The Penguins have gone the way that the fourth line goes, and you've got Lizotte back, and he doesn't look any worse for wear. You'd never think that he didn't play the last month of the season, because he seems to have picked up right where he left off. Soderblom, I don't know. He's an interesting guy because I like what I see out of him, but I just haven't seen. He just like everyone else, he hasn't been able to really do much. He had that one unbelievable move in the first game that he didn't score on, but it was an all-time power forward move. It's just the Penguins aren't really able to possess the puck that much, and that's why it's so frustrating. Like, they're just getting a stick on everything. It seems like that they rim around everything that any passes that go through the house or the interior there, they're getting a stick on it. They're missing the net a lot too, Robbie, which...
Yeah, I think they said tonight the Penguins had 20 missed shots or something like that. The Flyers had like 6 or something. And again, the Flyers aren't exactly... the volume of their shots is not huge, but man, if you're going to throw that, at least make Vladar work for it. I mean, at some point, if you're throwing that many shots on net, odds are something takes a weird bounce and ends up in the back of the net. And a game like this where he is dialed in, you're going to need a weird bounce to beat him. So, I mean, putting them within the vicinity of that 4x6 cage is very important. And man, they were not good at that tonight.
They were not. I think on the positive side, if we're going to look at any sort of positivity heading into Wednesday, I'm going to stand by this until it's proven either true or false, but I don't think that the Flyers are going to be able to keep up this clampdown that they've bestowed upon the Penguins offense. I do not believe that they're going to have the I don't believe they're going to have the discipline to keep this up for, I'm going to still say it, I think I said the Flyers or the Penguins in 5, that is blown right out the door tonight. So Let's just call it whatever. It's a 7-game series now. I don't think the Flyers have the discipline and the maturity to keep this up every game. I think that the Flyers are going to have a stinker at some point, and the Penguins are going to put the seed of doubt in them with that, because the Penguins are hungry for an opportunity here. I mean, they're missing the net a lot, but my other thing, if you're looking at things glass half full here, on top of the Flyers not being able to keep up this clampdown, is I just think that the Penguins, you haven't seen their best game yet, man. You have not seen the Penguins' best game yet. They're gonna have a game here, and you know how we talked about the Flyers kind of making it and playing with house money, right? But that was one of the things that you said scared you. You're down 2-0. You're going into Flyers. Yeah, the cards are stacked against you. Yeah, that's not ideal, but there's going to be a semblance of house money for the Penguins going into Philadelphia. It's going to be a raucous crowd. It's going to be insane. They're going to boo Crosby every time he touches the puck. But at this point, if things continue the way they have been, the series is already over. You might as well go in there and try some new stuff. And I don't think, like you said, you don't throw, spaghetti at the wall hoping it sticks. You go in there with a new game plan, you maybe a couple changes roster-wise, and you got to go in there and try to score first. You got to try to set some sort of a tone, because the Penguins, like you said, I think that's been a big thing missing from their game. They've never gotten settled. It wasn't until at the end of the second period this game that they were able to kind of look like the team that got us to this point. So those are my two things I think going into next, into this, or a couple things that are going into Wednesday that I think are going to be working in the Penguins' favor.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think you have to go and you have to try something different. I mean, what you've done so far hasn't worked. So you might as well try something a little bit different, and you have to make the Flyers chase the game. It's as simple as that. You have to go in there and make them play from behind. That is the most important thing. And they haven't done that yet this series. They haven't even really threatened to do that yet this series. They only had 2 shots in the first period tonight, which in a game like this can't happen. I thought that they would come out and they would have a good first 5 minutes, and the Flyers were completely fine with them not really pushing their case at all. And that played right into what the Flyers want to do. They eventually get the first goal. And then after that, things just imploded. The Penguins had a power play going down 1-0 with an opportunity to tie the game, and it ends up behind Stuart Skinner instead with a completely abomination of a defensive play by literally everybody on the ice at that point. I think you have to change the power play too. You have to do something. You have to get something different. You have to change something. And again, the thing that they should do that they're definitely not going to do is sit Chris Letang. That is doing something. And when we say doing something different, that is basically dropping a nuke on this entire roster and the entire. I mean, that would just completely probably wreck them mentally, especially just throw everything off. So you're not going to see that. But hey, you got to do something different, and it starts Wednesday night. You have to win that game.
I mean, you don't have to sit Letang. I mean, I wouldn't mind at this point throw Jack St. Ivany in there to be the stay-at-home guy for Girard, because I think Girard needs some power play time. He's no stranger to it. I'm pretty sure he was on the. Oh no, they had Taves on the second power play when he was in Colorado. But
yeah,
Girard is clearly an offensive defenseman. He's a puck mover.
Oh yeah,
and having Letang paired with him, it's not it's two wrongs not making it right. It's just not going to work. I get Jack St. Ivany in there to be a physical, steady Eddie type of player. At this point, shelter Letang, if anything. I saw him out there a lot. And, the whole defense, like a lot of things didn't go the Penguins' way today. This is one of those games, like I said, I think about the first game. You don't need to necessarily flush it down the toilet. You can build off of it. This is a game you flush down the toilet and you go, that's not us. There's nothing you can learn from that one. It was just a bad game. Unfortunately, it came in the playoffs on your last home game of the the 2-game homestand that you earned. Yeah. And you gotta flush it, man. You got to go into the next one, and it's a road game. You got a little bit of house money going for you, and I don't know, man. It's tough because I feel like Skinner in Edmonton too. He's had some times where he wasn't the starter in certain series.
Yeah,
and you're getting a good couple of games here out of him. So if you can get some semblance of defense and a little bit of a pop offensively, this Flyers team is not built to outscore a team. They're built to clamp down and hold the lead and suffocate. You talk about the Penguins slogan, flip the script. They need to flip the script right now on the way this is gone.
Yeah, that's for certain. They definitely need to flip the script, and it would be terrible to waste a Stuart Skinner performance like this. I mean, the way he's been playing, obviously his biggest criticism was that he just wasn't built for these moments, and he's been their best player by far through 120 minutes of hockey, and unfortunately he hasn't been bailed out, or he hasn't been rewarded for that for what he's done so far, and it would be never a better time than to do it on Wednesday night. And hey, if you win that game, all of a sudden there's maybe a seed of doubt in Philadelphia in their minds a little bit. So yeah, you just got to go. I mean, you just got to go play the game that you played that got you here, and that includes just getting back to the basics and making them chase the game a little bit, because you haven't done that yet. We haven't seen what this Flyers team is like when they're behind in this series yet. The worst they've been is tied 1-1 about midway through game one. But other than that, they've either been ahead and being able to control the game, or they've just been pretty happy with the game being tied one way or another. So, yeah, you just have to just get back to the game that got you here is really what I think is where it starts. That is where it starts and on that's all Wednesday night, and they just have to play simple. I think that I could see Connor Clifton being lifted from the lineup. He did not have a good game tonight. He pretty much led to the first goal, being unable to knock Porter Martin off the puck. So I could see Clifton coming out for a St. Ivany type player. Or yeah, I forgot that Sloviev is there as well. I kind of forgot about him too. And somebody mentioned to me, and this is more of an off-season thing that we'll talk about down the line, what if Girard was brought in with the idea that he's the Letang replacement next year?
That's it's almost like it's unspoken. I feel like they kind of
because that is not a pairing. That is not a natural fit of a pairing whatsoever.
No, the second that I saw that they were going to be paired together, I immediately think, well, I don't like that long term, but you know what? I get it, righty lefty. You're kind of just putting it's like Chell, like playing NHL 24 or something. You just put your two highest rated defensemen together. You maybe have Carlson with Witherspoon. You have a system there. And then when you go down into depth, you just put your two best that you have next at your second pairing, but it doesn't necessarily feel like a good match. And it's proving that. It's proved that, I think, even before the playoffs started. But I think there had to have, Dubas isn't a moron. Dan Muse is a smart coach.
Yeah.
Letang is a legacy player for the Penguins, and it doesn't even need to be brought up. But the fact that, that they're, I don't know, you see it out there. Letang, the game is gone. And it doesn't seem that anybody really shelters him much either. It's just out there for you every game, the gaffes in the play. I think Girard's a fine Letang replacement. He's a left shot, puck moving defenseman who's got moves. He's got speed. Things that Chris Letang simply doesn't have at his best right now at the age of 38 or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, the game's gone. I mean, it happens to about everybody at some point. Yeah. And again, we've seen it for the past few years with Letang. This isn't just 2026. Like, this has been a recurring theme, and it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. He's playing with a completely unnatural playing partner who's an offensive-minded defenseman as well. But no, I mean, Wednesday night, hey, another fresh slate. You know what you have to do. You're still a veteran team. And if you can just get that first goal and make them chase, it makes things a lot more different, I think, in the way that this series plays out. Yeah, that's where we're at. The Penguins lose this one 3-0. They're in a 2-0 hole heading to Philadelphia.
They could go win two. They could go win two in Philadelphia.
I mean, it's not over. I mean, you just got to take one game at a time. You can't win two games on Wednesday. Let's put it that way. You got to win one before you can win two. You just have to worry about winning that one first. And hey, and then things suddenly change. Then the momentum's on your side. Philly's chasing it for the first time. Hey, just take care of business Friday or Wednesday, and then we'll worry about the next game after that.
That's right, man. It's definitely not over yet. I think the Penguins, they don't have their back up against the wall quite yet, but they've got an opportunity to go to Philadelphia and play in a seeded doubt. And I mean, I wouldn't be super surprised if they go to Philadelphia and they win two games and they're coming back home with a chance to get that clinch, that third game, that third home game. I don't think the Fly. Who knows? I might eat crow after this. I still don't buy that the Flyers are a good enough team to sweep the Penguins, even with the gaps in their play and in their like structure and their inability to to really push their offense or impose their will on this Flyers team. I don't think that they're that good.
Yeah.
Some people might say I'm a moron because after 2 games, it's been decidedly Flyers, but they're still a young team. This is their first year back in the playoffs. Talkett has the edge that he's been coaching that team, building them up for this for 1 extra year than Muse has. But let's be honest, like their clampdown, it wears on you. Like there's no, I don't.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're gonna start to get tired. The series wears on. The Penguins are going to have their youth and fresh legs, and their offense. They're going to have opportunities to impose their offense on the Flyers, and it's just they got to put the puck on the net. Their opportunities need to count, and maybe they're gripping the stick a little bit, knowing that they're not going to get. They don't know when their next offensive chance is going to come, so when they get the puck on their stick, they're trying to make it count tenfold, and they need to play a little looser, a little more Penguin style offense, but they're going to have a chance to Wednesday, man. And it's going to be interesting to see. So other than that, man, I don't really have a ton left to say on this. It was a disappointing game to watch, but yeah, Dan Muse and Stuthers and company, they've got some buttons to push.
Yeah, and one thing I'm going to need a full read on whenever the series ends is Matvei Michkov as well. 9:32 ice time tonight, second lowest on the Flyers. Very interesting usage that he's been getting. I'll have to try to reach out to someone I know and see what.
He's invisible, man. That guy's not getting anything out there. And when he's had the puck on his stick, it's not threatening.
No, I mean I've barely heard his name and all, but again, they haven't really needed him, so it hasn't really mattered.
No, not when they have Luke Glendening, who I didn't know was still in the league. Garnet Hathaway. Sean Couturier is playing fourth line center, which is, he's built for that role at this point in his career. But that fourth line is coming up aces right now, and they got Porter Martone, who's got a goal scoring streak in his first, pro playoff game. So it's not the toughest code to crack, Robbie. It's really not. It doesn't seem like it should be, and they're going to have an opportunity Wednesday, man.
Yep. But before we wrap up here, no other finals to report tonight so far. Ottawa and Carolina are currently about midway through the first overtime period. In that game too, it was 2-0 Carolina, but Ottawa came back with 2 goals to tie it up, and they're now in overtime. Dallas and Minnesota are at the end of the first intermission, 1-1, and Edmonton Anaheim was the last first round series to get underway. They do so tonight with game 1 in Edmonton. That's 0-0 as we wrap up this episode. So Snail, if you have nothing else, I have nothing else. We will talk to you guys Wednesday night after game 3. Hopefully we're in a better mood by then. But for Snail, I'm Robbie. We'll see you guys later this week. Have a good Tuesday, and we'll talk to you later.